Before that they had a 8-cylinder high-speed Merleys Ricardo, two-stroke with sliding sleeves. That was right up at the end there where those transformers were. And a frequency injection plant, that's a machine that runs to switch your hot water systems off and on. And it was made by Landis and Gere, and the engineer at that time, old Bill Litchfield, was the first one that was installed in Australia, 50 cycles to 500 cycles, and that used to work a relay on your house and would switch your hot water system off. Any other functions you wanted to do, pumps or anything like that. And another thing we always used to say, it was made for the latitude and longitude of Mullumbimby, and with the street lights in the winter time, it would put them on earlier, and in the summertime it put it off. It did it all automatically.
So was that in the 50s?
Yeah.
After the war?
Yeah, that was in the 50s. And, that's where that was. And as Dick said with number 3, the old Ruston Hornsby. Well then, number 5, which is that one there, you can see the 5 up on it. That was installed in 1945. The 5-cylinder Merleys with a alternator on it that generates 650 volts. But before I get to that, that's the 2 hydros there, or Pelton wheels. This is great. And there's a history about that, but Robin's got a lot of history about how they had surveys and had consulting engineers and everything here and put it in there. Well, that used to supply, they're actually what they call a Pelton wheel. They're not a true hydro like the Snowy River hydros that spin round that way. And that they were in, I think it was 1926 they were commissioned, wasn't it? Mum got power. That's number 5. That's 1 and 2 of the 2 hydros. Then number 6, which is this one behind me here, that was in 1949. It's a 7-cylinder turbocharged diesel. And this alternator here, this thing, this generates 11,000 volts, so you don't have to have a transformer, you could go straight out on the line. And, they put in number 8 next. We had to extend this building out, because there's only a little building up there. And there's a bit of history in that because Robin here, her father was one of the carpenters that did all this building.
And so was the grandfather of Petria Thomas.
The skeleton staff.
Mick Godby.
Harold.
No, Harold Godby.
Harold.
Oh,
yes, Harold.
He wasn't a grandfather, he was an uncle.
Oh, an uncle. Okay. So we're in the elite company.
Yeah. That round thing there is a scorch by the name. And the story is that the English got it off a German boat. And it's supposed to be that, I don't know if that's right or not, but that's the story. So there's a bit of history in that. And that's how we ran it. That one generated 6,600 volts, went through a transformer, and all the switch gearing behind that board there, it's all runs at 11,000 volts, which goes out all the transmission lines. Peter and Daryl's job. And we had 2 tradesmen assistants. And you get them going at the right speed, you had to synchronise them in to hook them into the power that was already going out, and we couldn't make enough power.
What year did you get connected to Lismore? What year was the 66,000 volts come from Lismore?
Well, actually it was 11 when it first come through. Right. And that before the 50s.
Before the war, it was around about 38, it went through our farm, out the other side of Gurngarry, from one end to the other.
It was 11, wasn't it?
It was 11, with the transformer down near where the gate is.
Yeah, that's right.
And 66 then,
Substation over there.
when the substation went over on the paddock there.
Yeah.
To run out of water for the hydro, or was put that on?
Run out of water
Yeah, up and down.
in a drought. Yes, in a dry time, but we controlled it. We run the hydros for the water. If we had plenty of water, we run the hydros 24 hours a day. But when it cut out, well, we'd shut the hydros back down again. Yeah, I went out in 88, 89.
I think they run it one weekend for
One weekend, yeah. But it was capable of generating nearly all the Shire, flat out, everything going. We could keep the majority of the towns with power when we operated at the Sunday, and any big line construction work going on or anything like that. And storm damage, well, we'd lose more. We'd have to start this up. We had sleeping quarters upstairs. The alarms would go, the power went off, we'd have to come down and start these machines up, what we called black, which had no voltage, no pumps. Start them up, get them online, and then you could put on water pumps and get really stuck into another engine and build up until you'd supply what feeders was still available. How long would it take? Side like this. We'd have to get up and yell at one another.
So the decommissioning was 1988?
Pardon?
When was the whole thing decommissioned?
And what was the reason for that?
A couple of reasons. Load increase, like the years that Dick and Ray are talking about. This would have been able to hold it. These days wouldn't have a hope. Wouldn't even probably hold the Mullumbimby town. Yeah.
But what's the reason?
Okay.
Supplement.
Expense for a start, environmental issues because it's a diesel-fired power station, so you've got a lot of noise, a lot of emissions. They're not as efficient as using grid power or hydro. We kept the hydros going up until probably 99, and then they shut down for two reasons: lack of water and machine age and serviceability and that sort of stuff as well.
So would that cost quite a lot? Like just say you once we use the hydro system to put it back on from 99, is that a lot? I mean, it's not worth it to get that power from the... I mean, because all our water's back. I was just wondering...
whether we could get it going again. There's a fair bit of work to do on the machines themselves and a fair bit of work to actually hook it into the grid as well. So you're talking reasonably like hundreds of thousands of dollars really to get the thing going, and your payback on that wouldn't be really...
I think the
place up there, like the weir's 30 foot tall or something like that from memory. We only took through the race was only about that much out of the top of it because they didn't want to run the town out of water for the water supply. So realistically, even though there's a lot of rain at the moment, if it stays dry for a month, you'd have to shut it down again anyway.
So what about the fact that the water supply could be supplemented by rainwater? Surely that would be a very significant difference.
Yeah, it could make a difference. Yes, yeah. They do use